Talk to Me is something as unusual as a good supernatural horror movie. After being disappointed by the subgenre for the past 10 years or so, I thought this movie was really good. What makes it more of an achievement is that it's made, written and directed by a YouTube duo called Raka Raka, two brothers Danny and Michael Philippou. It is their first feature film. It is an Australian production, but it's distributed by A24. And the writers and directors being YouTubers really makes this fantastic because they have made a movie that is better than 90% of supernatural horror today. The subgenre has become one of my least favorite horror subgenres because it's become very generic and very uncreative. Most of the movies feel exactly the same, and they are not scary because you know what you're going to get from them. Many of them play off the same tropes over and over again. It seems like many of the directors, writers and producers don't know what to do with the subgenre except for having the demon crawl on the wall, have a really deep voice and demonic eyes. And above else, they don't have a good core ground story. For the most part, the story and characters are bad, and when the story and characters are bad, you don't really care about what is happening in the movie. So it's about striking a balance between the scares and telling a good story with good written characters. When the story and characters are badly written, the scares don't work either. But what these brothers have managed to do is to tell a good story and with interesting characters. And I wasn't expecting much of this movie because, as I said before, the supernatural subgenre is something that I don't really have much hope for. The scares are not direct and in your face. They are more emotionally based. And that is actually more intense and scary than having the demon jump at you every few seconds. That makes the horror of this movie last more. It holds on to you for the whole movie and doesn't let go until the end, with a nice surprise. The Philippou brothers have a distinct style, very energetic style with very energetic camera movements. The cinematography is very inventive at times, and the movie has a color scheme that plays around with the colors of yellow and blue. Overall, the movie is very well executed visually. The cast here is mostly unknowns, with the exception of Miranda Otto, that is the most known actress in this movie. You have maybe seen her most recently in another horror project in Annabelle Creation. The other cast members I have not seen in other movies, but maybe I should watch more Australian movies. The one that is most impressive here is Sophie Wilde. She is really good as the lead in this movie. She has mostly done TV shows before, and she has a really impressive movie debut in here. But she also has a lot to work with this character that's written for her. And I hope to see more from her in the future. The best part of this movie is the script. It has a really well told story and an interesting main character. And it's refreshing that it's not predictable like most movies in this subgenre. Sure, you get things that we have seen before when it comes to the demon representation in here, but there's enough twists that it's passable. You get enough inventive stuff that it cancels out the stuff we have seen before. The embalmed hand, for example, is something very interesting and something we have not seen before. It adds mythology to the movie, and we have a lot of questions about it, where it comes from, what it is, how it works, and so on. Also, the demons are very vicious in this movie. There is a character in this movie that is a young boy. He is much younger than the other characters, and he gets possessed in the movie, and the demons are very brutal towards him.
Oh my god.
There's one scene in this movie where the main character is trying to make the demons stop possessing this boy, and they show her what they are doing with him, and it's very brutal. They show her that they are torturing him in hell. And when you think about how young he is, it is one of the most dreadful scenes in the movie. There's also one scene where the main character kills her own father. One demon is pretending to be her mother, dead mother, and tricks her into killing her own father. And that is also something that most horror movies don't dare to do, at least not in this way. So I have to give props to these two YouTubers. It's their first movie, and it's very impressive that it was this great. They will be doing a sequel to this and explore the mythology and the world a bit further. They will also be doing a Street Fighter movie, which I'm very excited to see. But when it comes to a Talk to Me sequel, they have said that they have some things mapped out when it comes to the hand and the mythology behind this world. But they have also said that they want to do a prequel, so we will have to see. Both a prequel and a sequel would work just fine. It's just nice to see a couple of YouTubers make a great horror movie and have good success with it. They did say that before A24 picked up their script, that they had talks with another studio, and that studio wanted to make the movie a lot more generic than what it became. So I'm glad that it didn't just take the first offer and make a movie that wasn't their real vision. It would have been just so easy to accept an offer. You are a first-time filmmaker and there's a chance you are getting your first movie out. So it would have been a really easy path to just accept anything. So I'm really glad that they didn't, and they stayed true to their own vision, because they both seem to have talent when it comes to writing and directing. This year has been kind of underwhelming for horror, but this movie is one of the best horror movies of this year. Like I said before, the supernatural and demonic possession subgenres are really not that good for the past decade. They are generic for the most part, but this movie surprised me and I'm glad it came out and was made. It gives hope to a subgenre that have long since lost its creativity. Many of them try to do the exorcist tropes without understanding why that movie worked in the first place. Whatever genre you are making, it all comes down to making and crafting a good story and writing interesting characters. Without those two core ingredients, the movie simply just won't work. And these guys seem to understand that. This has been Boogeyman Cinema. If you liked this video, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching.